looks like we're live. Microphone on this time. So hey guys, hey, anybody watching the stream or the video? This the stream is gonna be Paper Mario continuation where we left off last time, which is find the Koopa Bros. I got kind of late off work today, and I already streamed earlier in the day, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just beat this maybe not chapter, just the fortress, and then we'll end it off there. So last time we ended up getting Koopa here and Goombario. Oh, I guess we had Goombario already, but we went ahead and got Koopa here, Koopa Village, and when we came to the Koopa Bros fortress, and obviously we had, I think it was Yellow Koopa, come in here and mess with that. So we know something's wrong with there. Let's go the other directions. Let's see what we shit. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go through this. Just try to do some leveling. We're pretty close. Actually, this might actually be enough to level us up here. What do I want to do? This is gonna kill the Koopa, but I don't think I have anything to kill. I don't have anything to kill the balls in time, and I really don't want to. I have no. I can use an item. I don't really wanted to, or I can try to. Hopefully, I blocked it. Alright, lucky the other one, so let's go ahead and kill this bomb. So we don't. Hopefully, we're not gonna level up. The next battle we should though, which replenishes our health. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do flower points. I see we have K in the chat. Hello K. Hopefully you had a good day at work and you have a good relaxing night today. I took a little break from the Pokemon game to just finish up this chapter in Paper Mario. How's my evening going? Pretty good. We had I guess a work dinner today. Me and my coworkers and our boss. He invited us to a dinner today. I just came back from it. Well, I came back like around 11:30. So we got off of work early. We closed the place down 2 hours early. So pretty relaxed. Got free food, so can't complain. Work was okay. Went gym for a bit. So always a good way to end the day. Yeah. Always a good way to end the day. Hitting the gym, feeling fresh, tired, ready to go to sleep. But yeah, we had a work dinner. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about going. I don't know if it was gonna be like one of those dinners where we talk about what's wrong with what's going on, or if it's gonna be just an actual work dinner where he tells us we're doing good and keep going. Luckily, it was a ladder. It wasn't anything bad. We didn't have anything bad to discuss. He told us that we're doing a good job so far, keeping up the good work, and that's about it. And I don't know, I think it's the first time, because we usually work, we don't always work together. We work in shifts, so it was always kind of weird to have everybody together, and like obviously not everybody in the group gets along. So it was kind of weird. But yeah, a lot of people, I feel like the people don't talk to each other in my workplace. They talk to each other now, so I'm assuming they're a little bit more like they might let bygones be bygones and drop their beefs. So hopefully that's why that was the point of the dinner, was to try, like, he kind of noticed that people were upset at each other. So maybe he did it to try to lighten the mood. It seemed to work. I don't think it was out of town. It was a 40-minute drive from where I was at. So it was kind of annoying to drive that far, but it's not that far. But I thought it was gonna be in town because I feel work functions are just awkward. They make you have to social with people you don't usually be social with. Yeah, but I'm at least for me, it wasn't that awkward because I talked to basically everybody. There's some people I get obviously more along with than than others, but I think I'm basically on good terms with everybody. I don't think I have anybody who dislikes me too much. Maybe the management, maybe, but I'm not. Even with them, I'm not really like in bad terms. We just disagreed on the coworker who they wanted to fire. But I've talked to them. I'm very open about things. I'm not like someone who just hides stuff. So I went up to them afterwards like, hey, do you feel any type of way about me going against your thoughts? And they were just like, oh no, it's fine. We just didn't think it would work out, and you did. So, but if you want to help her out, go ahead. But I was like, all right. I was like, if you're able to train her better than we did, then go ahead. We're not gonna complain. So, but it was awkward at first because we usually don't see each other outside. I see two people outside of the workplace, but with the other ones, I don't see him at work, so it was kind of weird. We were all well, except me. I was still wearing my work clothes, but that's for a story. That's for a story I can tell you guys right now. So it's like I have a good workplace, but there for sure are people that I don't want to deal with outside of the work. Like I get along with everyone, but like in a work way. Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. Like some people, it's just like I wouldn't say fake, but you know, it's just like that work. You're not gonna fucking be mean to everybody. You're not gonna be like, someone say hi to you, and you're like, no. You're gonna say hi back. Maybe, you know, banter a little bit, and that's it. You know, it's kind of like the typical water cooler talk. You go to the water cooler, you talk about whatever you need to talk about, and then you just move on with your life. But like I said, only two people I actually talked to out of the workplace. But it was alright, I guess. Like I said, people seemed to get along better. It seemed that it looked like everything was fine. Everybody talked to everybody. It wasn't like any like high school type of thing where everybody was just with their group of people. So I guess it could have gone worse. I don't think it could have gone any better, but yeah. But I went. I guess this is like not everybody went. We had some people who didn't go, and I showed up late to it. I showed up 30 minutes late to it. It started at 9. I showed up at 9. Like, well, 20 minutes late. It started at 8:30 to 9, and that was the time we needed to arrive. And I got there at 9:20, but for a good reason though. So today, it was today, right? But we didn't close up. We closed up early, so it was the closing people today were me and two others that were supposed to close everything down, and we one of the persons who was closing with us was carpooling with two other people. So they're like, well, if I leave right now, I'm gonna be late, and I have two other people. So I was like, okay, I guess if you want, you can go ahead and leave early. And one of the other workers that I was with wasn't going like at all. So it was me and the other girl, and it was actually the girl that I trained, not the one that wanted to get fired, but the other one, the original one. I believe I gave her the name Natalia, or was it Natalia? I don't know. The girl with the letter, they start with an N from the story. The original one I trained, she couldn't make it. So she was closing and I was closing, and my boss was like, and she's still relatively new, so she had to do most of the cleaning. So 8:30 came along, 8:20 came along. Oh, Nala and something else. No, yeah. So Nala, I guess Nala. Yeah, Nala. I know the other one's Alexis, I believe. But Alexis, she didn't go either. But she was for a different reason. She had something to do, so she couldn't go. And Nala, she didn't want to go. So I'm like reasonable. So it was me, her closing up at this point, and the other person was like, "Oh, I need to take a carpool." So I 8:30. I was just like, "Oh, if you want, you can go. I'll finish up here, and then it's fine like that." So then she leaves, picks up whoever she's taking. But my other friend, who I knew from high school, he's there too. And I call him like, "Hey, I'm running late." And then my boss calls me right mid call with my friend, and I'm like, "Oh, hello." And he's like, "Are you coming yet?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm closing down I'm closing down with Nala. I'll be there when I'm done." And he was like, "Well, just you can leave her because she's new, so she doesn't have the security code. So like, a couple of the workers have a security code to lock down the place, and I'm one of them, right? And the other person that left early is also one of them. So I was like, well, I don't. She doesn't have one, so I gotta help her. We'll give her a temporary one for the meanwhile." But I was like, well, this it. It does. I was like, well, okay, but what about all the stuff we need to do? And he was just like, for now, you can just leave it. She'll just leave her. I'll give her a temporary code, and then we can do it later. And Bob was just like, I'm not gonna leave this girl here by herself. Like, she's like, at this point, she's been here for 2 months, and it's too early to leave her here by herself. So I called back my friend, and I was like, hey man, I don't think I'm gonna show up, cause at this point it's already 8:30, right? I got 30 minutes to be over there. So, and we had maybe an hour's worth of work left to do. So I was like, hey man, I called my friend. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Just have fun or whatever. But I'm gonna stay here with Nala and just help her close down. I'm not gonna leave her here by herself. Like, I know he said that we didn't have to do all the work. We just had to close down, like, just basically clean whatever we gotta clean and lock it down, make sure everything's locked. But like, it's still maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of work for like 2 people. So if it's just her by herself, she'll be here for a while. So I texted her I'm not gonna be there. So then I'm telling Nala like, so you don't want to go or anything? She's like, nah. And then she told me, you can go if you want. I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave you by yourself. It's just, I don't want to be messed up and just leave you here. So I stayed. I ended up finishing around we finished like around like 25 minutes. So at like an 8:50, I was ready. Like, I was done with everything. So then I set up everything. I clock out, and I'm just like, well, that's set. And I called my friend. I was like, hey man, I just got off. Like, is it over? Like, is there just is there a point for me to come? Because I say it's a 40-minute drive or 35-minute drive. And he was like, nah, no one's really here yet. It's just me, a couple other people, and our boss. And I was like, what about so and so who left early from where I was at? And they go, oh no, he's not. They're not here yet. So I was like, oh, they're not even there yet. So I was like, I asked Nala one more time, like, hey, do you wanna go? I know you didn't want to go earlier. You were busy or something, but if you want, like if it's like a issue of no ride, I can give you a ride. I don't mind. And she was just like, nah, it's fine. I don't wanna go or anything. So I was like, okay, cool. So I walk her to her car. She goes to her car. She gets dropped off, and that's that. So I start driving over there. Whatever. Right? I get there 30 minutes after, right? I'm late. I come in, and then everybody's like, how come you came in late? And I was like, oh, I was helping Nala close. And the person who that was working with us knew that, but she didn't say anything. So then, as soon as I said that, they're like, why didn't you just leave? And I was like, well, I don't want to be messed up to her. That's like, I'm not trying to leave her to do all the work. So then and then everybody else was like, why, do you like her or something? Like, bro, like, why does it have to be something that, like, why do you have to make it weird? It's like I was just trying to be a good coworker and like and a good friend, I guess. I'm not gonna fucking leave her here by herself, cause yeah, we closed early. We usually close at 9:30. So today we closed at like 7:38. So I was like, um, I'm not gonna do that to her. And then everybody's like, oh, do you like her or what? I'm like, bro, it's not even about that. But to each their own, I guess. I don't want to think that. But I was like that. And then I just enjoyed the dinner. I was talking to my friend the whole time. We had like speeches. I honestly hate that. What game? Like you do one nice thing for someone, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you like them. Why would you hate that? Why would you hate people assuming that you can't have relationships with the opposite sex without wanting to derive a relationship out of it? That's like totally correct. No, I hate that shit too. Because I like talk to everybody. So obviously, whenever you're nice to, in my case, the opposite sex being women, and you know, I'm a straight man. So obviously, I do have, you know, attractions to women. But like, obviously, I'm not over here I'm not trying to get every single woman I see. Says, hold up, the microphone's blocking. So I'm a supervisor to like 5 people who work under me, and one of which is a guy, and we are friends. And quite often, when he has issues, he speaks to me about it. Private, everybody assumes something's going on, like it's not. And it's just called being a friend to someone who needs assistance. Like, I'm gonna have friends of the male gender without dating them or wanting to date them. Plus, I have a partner, so I wouldn't cheat. Exactly. So I don't get it. Like, especially like even like say like I've technically never told them that I'm straight, right? Obviously, they probably just assume that I'm straight, but like not everybody is straight or falls under those specific like categories that like easily. So like even like say like it's just weird all around to assume in general. But yeah, so I was like that was like the joke of the table for like a couple, like maybe like a couple minutes, just being like, oh, he stayed to help her because he likes her. I'm just like, y'all can think whatever. I'm not gonna like be like making jokes out of it, because that's just, not only is it like not true, she's not even here right now to like, maybe if she was there, like it might be a little bit like not funnier but like different, because she's actually there, she can rebuttal or whatever. But she was just like, it was just me, and like it's not really fair to make those type of jokes about people. But yeah, yeah, I hate that assumption when people do that too. But you only tell people so much. But so it goes on, whatever. And this is, it comes back again later, but I'll get there right now. So we do whatever we gotta do. Right, we're eating food, talking. The boss gives the whole. I don't know if you have those type of, what kind of boss you have. But our boss, whenever like we're together, he gives like the speech of like, you know, we gotta work together. I'm like, not like in a condescending way, but like he's like, you know, if you guys have problems with each other, let me know. You can figure it out. We have problems with the work or whatever. Let's talk about it. We're here to help each other, not make it hard on each other. So we had that speech going on. So I feel like if you try to defend it, deny it, or argue, it makes people carry on, and better off just being like, you know, think what, like, you think what you want to think, but I know what's factual. I can sleep at night knowing that. Yeah, that's kind of the route that I took. Like the first, obviously, oh no, it's just, I'm just being nice. And then they repeated it again. And I was just like, well, it's just me being nice. That's it. I kind of stopped being like, no, I don't like her. I just said, I'm just being nice. So we go on. He gives a speech, whatever. And then what happens? We get our food, we get our drinks. I'm driving, so I'm not drinking alcohol. But some of the coworkers who came in the carpool, or the boss who came with his wife, they had a couple of drinks, whatever. Trying to get social with everybody. I'm like, I'm driving, so I'm not gonna try to fucking get a DUI or even worse, crash or anything like that. So me and my friend are sober because we both drove there, and we're talking to whatever, just basic, company stuff. Like, hey, we gotta do this. Yeah, some changes here, whatever. And then we have one of the coworkers, one of the management ladies, comes out and like, oh, they have this thing where it goes. The problem is if you say you don't like someone and you mean in a dating or romantic sense, someone takes it out of context and you hate them as much as person, so you can't win. Yeah, it's not the situation is lose-lose. There's no winning in that situation. That's why I'm saying I'm just being nice. Nothing about it, nothing extra. I'm just being nice. But, and I'm not gonna. If she questions me about it, I told them no. They can think whatever they want, but I just told them I'm just be nice. So then one of the management ladies comes, right, and then she was like, oh, next week, which our weeks start on Sundays. She was like, we're gonna get a new coworker. So I was like, okay, cool, nice. And I was like, who is it, right? Like, do you know who it is, or someone that we might know? And they're like, oh, it's one of our old coworkers. So I was like, oh, cool, who? And they're like, oh, it's so and so. It's so and so. I don't think of a name. Let's say her name is Cassandra, right? They go, well, Cassandra's coming back. I was like, okay, cool, right? But now, to get the rest of the story, you have to know some context, right? So Cassandra left because she got pregnant, right? She was on fraternity leave, and it was kind of in the air of, is she gonna come back, or is she gonna leave and not, and just get to find a different job or whatever, right? But before she got pregnant, I would say me and her had a thing, but we were talking, not in that, we didn't get to that state, but like I took her to lunch, and we took our lunches together. If I went on my lunch and she didn't have her lunch, I would ask her, do you want lunch or anything, stuff like that. And this one was actually more of a, maybe something might happen type of thing. But eventually, so she came in. We started on the same day, right? We and her started on the same day. So there's that, connection of, oh, we're both in this, at the same time. And we, so we're whatever. We slowly build up our relationship from being coworkers to friends. This is the only other person I actually saw out of the workplace. So then I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. And we're talking, whatever. And fuck, I can't even. I don't know what exactly you need to know, but we're talking, whatever. Like I said, this one was actually more of like we're trying to build a relationship outside of work, whatever. But she has a boyfriend. So once I found out she has a boyfriend, I was like, oh shit, my bad. Let me back off. So then now we should stay friends. I'm like, okay, cool, friends. So then I was like, all right, that's fine with me. So then we continue, and she worked with me for a year. So midway through that year, she breaks up with her boyfriend. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like, let me give her some rebound. Let her just figure out, let her think about stuff. Let her see what's up, how she feels about stuff. And then a month after that, it picks up again. We start going to lunch more. She invites me to whatever. We do whatever. I go to her house. Every Friday, we get paid every Friday, but she doesn't work Fridays. So I would always go to her house. I would always go to her house to drop off her check. But it's, like you said, never be a rebound. So I was giving her distance. I was giving her space. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, you're the closest guy to me, so I'm gonna talk to you. So again, in a couple months, I let her, try to get over the guy, give him some space. I'm like, okay, cool. we started. Like I said, we started slowly building up the friendship again. But just in my head, we were pure friends. Nothing was gonna happen. That's just how I thought about it. Then I guess 2 months is when I was like, you know what, maybe nothing's changed. She was pushing a little bit more, and I pushed back, just thinking maybe, you know, if it's just a rebound, if I push back, maybe it might I don't know, she might get discouraged to be like, oh, well, he's like, maybe he wants someone else. But you know, it was a persistent type of thing. So then I was like, okay, cool. So then after 2 months, like I said, fuck, I was making sure I thought. So whatever happens, we're talking, and then I was like, and like we never actually dated anything, but I was like, you know, thinking about like maybe I should like fully go for it, because technically before I found out before she had a boyfriend, I never went for it. We just ended up to being friends, and then right now we're still friends. So I was like, maybe I can go after it, but I'll have to see, make sure she's like not just still hung up on the other guy and just using me as a rebound to get over her feelings. So then whatever happens, and then maybe 2 weeks after that, she tells me, you know, that she's still not seeing her boyfriend, like they're still dating, but she still talks to the guy, right? So I was like, okay, cool. And this is, I was like, okay, so she's not fully over him. So that's when I was like, okay, we'll just stay friends, right? So then, but you know, that once you take that, you know, step beyond, it's kind of like, oh wow, it's kind of hard to go back and not feel weird about it. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So then when I take that step back, I was just like, well, hopefully it doesn't get too awkward. It wasn't awkward, right? And then eventually she tells me, oh, I stopped seeing him. It's like, okay, cool. And then I was like, but like, obviously you broke up with him, went back to him, so I'm gonna give you some more time. Maybe you want to think about it some more, whatever. So then, right? And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I kind of do like her, but like, you know, she has a boyfriend, or she had a boyfriend. She's still hung up on him. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna try to force myself into something that is between two other people. So I just let bygones be bygones. Still be friends with her. I didn't change up how I act with her. Like I still took her to lunch. I still bought her stuff just to be nice. So then, like I said, 2 weeks after that, after she told me she stopped talking to her guy completely, and they officially broke up, she comes up to me and she goes, "Can I tell you a secret?" I'm like, "Oh shit." "Oh sure, right, whatever." And she goes, "You can't tell anybody yet. I want to be the person to tell everybody what's like the situation." I was like, "Don't worry about it, for sure, no problems. Keep that shit keep it to the grave." And she comes up to me, and I'm thinking, in my head, you know, I'm racing. I'm like, what's gonna happen? What's she gonna say? I have no idea what's happening here. And she tells me, she goes, I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna say it. So this is like, you know, the classic, you know, like movie, TV shit. Like, you know, I don't know how to say it, so I'm just come out and say it. I like it, right? But no, not that. She goes, I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna tell you, and you can react however you want. I just think we're really close, and I want to let you know. I was like, okay, cool. And then she goes, I'm pregnant. And like, you know, in my head, I'm just like, we never did anything, right? So I was just like, that whole like, oh, am I gonna be? That never crossed my mind. So I was like, oh shit, you're pregnant, like. And in my head, my first thought was like, oh, she with her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend at this point, or whatever. And I was just like, well, they broke up, whatever. I like, you know, it's not my business. Whatever she wants to do with that, it's her business. She wants to see it on the side, you know, that's all power to her. But now she's pregnant, so then I'm just like, I was like, is it your ex-boyfriend's? And then she was like, yeah, it is. And I was just like, I was just like flabbergasted. I don't know what you like. I didn't know what to tell her. I was like, well, are you like happy, or are you like, what's the situation here? Like, I don't know how to. Like, I don't know whether to say congratulations or like, oh shit, you know. I don't know what to say. So I was just like, was it planned? Was it an accident? I don't know her like views on abortion or adopt. We know giving anything for adoption. I don't know what her views are on that. So I didn't want to suggest anything. So then I was just like, oh, it's, first I asked, is it your ex-boyfriend? She's like, yeah. And then I was like, is it planned? Was it an accident? She goes, it wasn't planned. She's young. She's a year younger than me. She's 20. I'm 21. So So I was like, maybe, but maybe who knows? Some people get ready to go into that like a path pretty early in life. Maybe she wanted to settle down already, but I was like, I don't know. So then, so it's not planned. It's did you guys get back together? She goes, no. Like that one time I told you I stopped talking to him. Maybe like a couple days later, he was upset. Not like a mad, but he was like sad. So he texted her, called or whatever, and she went over, and they talked. And I was just like, and that happened. She's like, yeah. And I was just like, well, I don't know what to do. I didn't want to tell you, like, that's why I was like, are you gonna keep it? Are you gonna, abort it, or are you gonna put it up for adoption? I don't know. And what's the plan? Or what's the plan here? And she was, I don't know. I haven't told the dad yet either. I was the first person to find out. She told me. She was like, hey, I found this out at this point, right? So she was like, I haven't even told the dad yet. So I was like, what do you mean you haven't even told the dad yet? She was, yeah, you're the first person I knew. First person I told. So I don't know what I should do. And I was like, I don't know either. Like, it's not like I'll try to help you. Like I can give you what advice, I guess, but like it's ultimately yours and his choice. Like it's your guys' kid. Like I'll support you with whatever you want to do, but like I'm not gonna play a hand in this because it's a pretty big life decision. So I'm not gonna weigh in on it. I can. Right, so I was like, I'm sorry, like I'll support you, but I can't really do much past that. Now, obviously, first thing we gotta do is talk to the dad and be like, hey, this is going on. Like, what are we gonna do? Right? And this is like, at this point, I was like, all right, this is the complete. Obviously, I'm not gonna, whether they get back together or not. Like, I'm 21. I don't have. I'm getting paid like barely a little bit over minimum wage, so I'm not gonna. I don't have the financial, or I don't think I'm fully ready to have a kid. And not even my kids. It's someone else's kid, so I not only would I have to, right? Like, this is like, so this completely like steals off the deal. Like, oh, I'm not gonna. This is over. We're just friends, and I'm okay with that. Obviously, a little bit sad. Like, I actually at this point I'm like actually liking the girl, so I was like, oh, so now it's completely sealed deal. It's over. So I was like, okay, that's that. So I was just like, all right, do whatever you gotta do. Obviously, first thing, tell the dad whether he's gonna be involved or not, and then if he's not gonna be involved, think about you have your options, or if he is, you still have your options, but you also have to, talk to him. Because I would personally, like, if I had a kid, I would want to have a say in what happens to the kid. But that's ultimately up to you. I'm just saying what I'm saying is just advice. You can take it to heart or not. Up to you. He said, yeah, you can't really exactly tell her what to do. It's her choice and what direction she wants to go with it. Yeah, you don't want to step in and act as a dad. Yeah, so it's just like that was a lot. It was just bad, right? But like I said, that's still. But went for the bit. She still worked. She worked until her fifth month pregnant. So she worked 4 more months. When she told me, she said she had just barely found out, and I don't know how long it's been since then. And now I do know she was pregnant when she told me for 2 weeks. And when the baby was born, we found out. It was born like 2 weeks ago. The kid. So like she's barely fresh, right? And she wants to come back to work. So I was like, I think you should like wait a little bit longer. I don't know how long. Like I think I know from my mom. Whenever she had my younger siblings, like she stopped working. When she had my little sister, she was still working, but she took off work and then she never went back. But she didn't think about going back to work until like a month after, because she was like still recovering from it. So like I have nothing against dating people with kids, but at the same time, you don't want to play dad to some kids who hasn't spoken to the father, or the drama between dad and the mom. Yeah, exactly. And like even. Like you said, I don't like if I find a girl that I like and she has a kid. I don't. For me, it's not really that much of a deal breaker. It is something to consider. Like do you still talk to the dad? How's the dad involved and all that? But ultimately, for me, it's not really that much of a deal breaker. I wouldn't mind that much, because there's worse than being painted as an evil step parent or or things coming in between dad and mom. Yeah, like I don't want that kid to be like, oh, the reason why my mom and dad aren't together is because of you or whatever. But like, and this is I thought about all this afterwards, and then so I tell her to talk to the guy, see what he wants to do. She talks to him. Whatever happens, happens. I don't want to state her business publicly. She does whatever she needs to do. Boom, right? She leaves 4 months into her pregnancy. I'm like, cool. And at this point, like I would, before she told me the whole pregnant thing, I would drive her I would take her home, buy her lunch, this and this, and then during the pregnancy thing, I would go on like craving runs. So whenever she had cravings, if I was on my lunch, I think the stream is crapping itself. It looks like it's good now. But yeah, so like I said, I would go on craving runs. She'd be like, "Hey, I want this, this, and this." And obviously she has a kid, so she'll send me to like a store. She'll be like, "Buy me this, this, or this." I'm like, "Okay, I guess." And you also don't want to use for cash cow for someone who isn't in a committed relationship with yourself. Yeah, that is true. So there's a lot of factors, but like as soon as she said that she was pregnant, like the whole, I didn't even think about, well, maybe if if the dad doesn't want to be involved, I can, like, none of that like came up to mind. I was just like, well, it's over. Like, we're gonna be good friends, and that's the most it's gonna be. It's not gonna be anything more than that. Like, if you were dating, you wouldn't mind buying things, but if you aren't in a relationship with, then you shouldn't be spending your money on someone. But yeah, that is true. That looking back at it now, I was like, all right. I know I kind of like fucked up on that part. It shouldn't, but like, I don't know. But it wasn't just a one-way thing with her. Like, it wasn't just like I would buy her stuff, she would also buy me stuff. Like, it was obviously, it wasn't anything too big. It was like at the most like $5 a week at the most. Like, she was like, "Oh, go get me a soda from here." I will get her $1 soda, or she'd be like, "Do you want anything from the store?" And I'll just be like, "Sure, give me I might fucking die. Give me like a bag of chips or something." So it was stuff like that. It wasn't anything too big. So I understand, but like, if it was anything like more than that, I'm like, hey, well, I would be like, we're not really like that. So I don't feel comfortable doing that. But so then whatever, eventually it happens, whatever. So at this point, I'm helping her through like the pregnancy, telling her like, if you need help with anything, I'll be here. If you feel sick, it's a bit different. If you can get someone the next time they're out, like they get you something, but you weren't doing things in return, it's taking advantage. Yeah, so I'm like, she wasn't taking advantage of me. Like I said, it was a two-way street, so that's why I was okay with it. But if it was just like she would ask me for stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, can you give me this?" She's like, "No," and that'd be completely different. Like, it was a two-way street, so I find it completely normal for it. But so yeah, so I'm helping her, whatever. I was like, if you feel sick one day and you don't want to come into work, let me know. I can cover your shift, whatever, that type of stuff. But then eventually, she leaves, right? So obviously she has to go to wherever she has to go, and she's gone. I'm like, okay, cool. We were good friends, but that and in my head I was like, she probably won't come back anymore because it's she's having a kid. She's gone. She left on her 5th month, so she probably won't be back. If she is back, she won't be back for 4 months. Oh shit, for 4 months, and then I guess I can tell you this part of the situation. The guy she was with didn't like me when they were dating because he thought that she was cheating on him with me. But at that point, I was just like, I'm never gonna talk to a girl in a way if she has a boyfriend to steal, quote unquote, to like take someone's like girlfriend away, because like I would really like, it's cheating something that I don't. For me, cheating is like inexcusable. Like if you cheat, you fucked up, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. So I wouldn't want to cause that in anybody else. So like, hopefully that's returned to me in the future if that ever happens, if I'm ever in that situation. So he doesn't like me, right? So then I was like, I don't want to get too involved into this because he really didn't like me when we were just talking normally. So imagine how much he would hate me if he found out that I was helping her through the pregnancy when he wasn't there. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna push my luck. I'll just do stuff. I'll do small stuff like, you know, take her shifts. If she needs help picking something up, I'll help her like that. Anything more than that is too far. So I think her returning to work depends on if she's has support. So while she's taking time off, while she can cover the bills, she just looked after her. She may return depending on our financial situation. Yeah. I haven't talked to her. So she left, right? And she left. And I'll tell you this part, I guess, so you can get the context of the story. She talked to the dad. The dad didn't really want the kid, but he said these are his words. What she told me, his words were, he said, "I don't really want the kid, but if you're gonna keep it, I'll help out." Which, you know, that's the best mindset you can have going into being a dad. But, you know, I'm not gonna speak ill about someone who can't defend themselves. But you can think whatever you want, Kay. Me personally, nowhere near the right mindset to have a kid. So that's the situation they're in. So they're like back together or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, now that I know they're together, I'm gonna pull myself out of this situation because, you know, he doesn't like me already. So now that he's actually gonna be in a more serious relationship with her, I'm gonna pull back. So I pull back slowly, and then eventually she leaves. And then I would text her every day. We would text every day off of work, but like I said, the whole situation, she doesn't like me, so I kind of like slowly like faded out. I would text her, you know, every once in a while. So I was like, I would text her every once in a while. It went from every day to maybe like once a day, once every 2 days, to just, you know, I'll be like, oh, I'm busy with work, so I'll text you after work. But then I'll get off of work at 10. And I'll text her the next morning, like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't text you because, you know, I got off work and you're probably asleep. And I slowly pushed it back to eventually, you know, we would talk just on the weekends. We would talk about big things like, oh, I got a race today, or hey, I'm having a baby shower. Do you want to come? So just big events. It was just updates on life. It wasn't really small talk anymore. I was like, I'm okay leaving it there. He said, that's good, I guess. Like, I understand that everyone's fatherly or mothers, but as long as he's owning up to what happened, and even if he isn't actively involved, as long as he is supporting her, that is better than him being an absent parent and leaving her alone without support. It takes two to make a baby. At least he can just offer support, and even if he doesn't want to be fully involved. I don't know how much I want to say, because what you say is completely valid, and I do agree. Like, if you just want to be part of the child's life, at least support. Without saying too much detail, it wasn't really much of support. I don't know how it is now, but when I was the 4 months she was, you know, working, wasn't really supporting with financials or emotional. So I don't know. I think it's a weird situation with that, but, you know, that's besides the point. So then she's coming back, right? I haven't talked to her in at this point 5 months, right? 5 months, and she's coming back, and I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know if she's gonna be upset that I stopped talking to her. I don't know if she's gonna, you know, not want to talk to me because of the dad, or if she's gonna be completely normal with me. Like, she never left. But and like I said, I haven't, like, I was trying to keep in touch with her, but then I kind of got the feeling that he told her not to talk to me anymore, because he got in contact, not in contact with me, but he got in contact. He asked about me, and I found out, and I was just like, okay. He's like, obviously he still knows that we were talking, and then eventually we completely cut off communication. But I was like, you know what, fair, you know, respect, whatever makes them happier, it makes it easier on them. Says things have changed, but her decision at the end of the day and his just because you can breed doesn't mean you'll be a good parent. Yeah, but yeah, I before we stopped communicating, I told her, I was like, if you need anything, like if you need a ride to a doctor's visit or something like that, and like no one else can help you, I'm willing to help you out if you need to. But I also told her I didn't feel too comfortable helping her out with much because of the whole situation they're in. But I was like, if you really need to, if you're like in a tough spot, and you need some sort of help, I'm willing to, try to figure something out to help you. But so she's coming back. So I wouldn't say I'm nervous, but it's just weird. I haven't talked to this person in a couple of 5 months, and like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be like normal, like just no worries, or it's gonna be like she's gonna be giving me the cold shoulder, try to avoid me to, whether she's mad at me or she doesn't want to talk to me because the guy doesn't like me or whatever. Because whenever she worked before she got pregnant, she told me, right, she was like, oh, in her mind she was gonna get married to this guy. So she told me, she goes, if I have a wedding, would you come to it? I was like, sure, I guess. At this point, we're just good friends. I know she has a boyfriend, so in my head, we're just good friends. I was like, yeah, for sure, And then she goes, oh, but he wouldn't want you there. So I was like, I wouldn't want to go to a wedding that the grooms doesn't want me at. And then she was just like, that's when I found out that he didn't like me, when she told me that. Because then she told me, like, well, it's because whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I don't know how it's gonna be. All I hope for is, she comes back, she does whatever she needs to do, get the money that she needs. Hopefully, but I don't know. Maybe she recovers fast from it. But like I said, my mom, when she had my little sister, she took a month off of work, like a month off to even consider going back to work. But she never going back to work. And then when she had my little brother, kind of the same thing, like a month or so before she was up and about like normal again. So I find it, I don't know. It's been 2 weeks since she gave birth to it, so it was birth to her kid. So I don't know how to feel about that. He said I would hope she could be an adult about it. Just because her ex doesn't like you should not affect your relationship. At the end of the day, I have friends that don't like people I date, but they're civil. Because if you care about someone, you can be civil, especially if it's someone who's important to you, to your significant other. I don't know about the guy, but she was fine. Like she told me, I'm not gonna stop talking to you. I'm not gonna treat you differently just because he doesn't like you. And like I met the guy once, and he didn't give me the cold shoulder, but he just gave me cold responses. She was just like, I was like, oh, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? Oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. That's great to hear, man. And then like, because I was clocking off at work, and he came to pick her up. This was when they were still dating before they broke up. And I was just like making conversation with us. I was leaving with him because he was outside, and then he was just like, "All right, I'm waiting for her." She was out. I'm like, "Oh, I think so." And I just went. It was kind of very cold responses. So honestly, depending how the birth went, depending how she recovers, she's looking for at least a few months off. It'll be a C-section. She's looking at a longer recovery time. Yeah, but I don't know. As I said, she said 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks and she wants to come back already. But if she's ready, I'm not gonna like say it's her choice. But it wasn't just me. A lot of the other the mothers in the room were like, 2 weeks is kind of a short time. She must recover fast. But I'm like, whatever. But then now I bring this up. This is all to connect to another joke that happened, right? Because this girl I actually like tried to talk to, or not tried to, or like try to be in a relationship with. Whether maybe we try it, it doesn't work out. Who knows, right? Never happened, so we'll never find out. So then, they bring this up, right? And all this is just for context. So remember all this. This happened. This is between me and her, and all that is context. She leaves. We leave on good terms. I have a not sticky note. We print out our schedules on a piece of paper, right? And on my piece of paper, one of my schedules, I have right here on my whiteboard. It says her name, and it says my name. It says my name is my best friend, and she has her sign. She signed it, right? And I put it up on my whiteboard. Like this was like even before all this. This was like 4 months into the work. So 2 months before anything even happened. So she writes, is my so and so, my name is my best friend, I signed her name, and I was like, cool. So I was like, and like this before I went forward or anything with trying to pursue her or anything. So I still have it up. I'm looking at it right now. I can see it. So it's kind of just like, I don't know how it's gonna be. Everybody knew that we were really good friends. Some people even were like, "Oh, are you dating?" Whatever. Some people, and then when people found out that she was pregnant, obviously this was happened at the dinner, but during when she was still working, it was still when she was working, everybody found out that she was pregnant at the workplace. Obviously, the joke was, "Is it?" To me, is it yours? And I was like, you know what, bro? To people, I was like, I'm not. Right, it's not something to joke about. You know, I don't know how. I don't feel comfortable telling me these jokes because I don't know how, you know, the situation with her is. So I think we should avoid joking about it before, you know, like she finds out or something. She hurts her feelings or, you know, whatever. Because it's not, like I say, it's a difficult situation that it is. I don't think those jokes are appropriate, especially if the guy doesn't like me and, you know, he hears them. And the office joke is that, you know, it's my kid. And obviously, if it never happens, I know it's not my kid. But I don't know. I told him, like, no, it's not really. I don't feel comfortable with those jokes and all that. So then everybody kind of knew, like, oh, as soon as the manager, the top manager said that she's coming back. They didn't all look at me like, you know, the classic movie. Everybody just turned their head, but like I saw my friend. He looked at me, tapped me on the leg, and like kind of laughed. And then like slowly, everybody kind of like looked, processed information, and then not one at a time, but like one person would look at me, and then like two other people would look at me, and then they look back. And I'm pretty sure they were just thinking like, oh shit, she's coming back. And it took like maybe like 10 seconds for someone to be like, damn, bro, you're gonna have some trouble. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, how you gonna, the person you were talking to before is coming back, and you have this new, you have a Nala here, you're talking to her now too, like it's not gonna cause some problems. And I was like, fuck, I thought we were past this joke already. He said, don't rush back to work and not bond with her child. Unless she has family, she'll need to put the child in daycare. That's expensive, and depending at the daycare, they won't take them that young. Yeah, she still, at least from when I was talking to her before, she still lived with her parents, and her parents were like, they were supportive of her decision. She ended up keeping the kid, and they're supportive of her. Like they didn't tell her what to do either. They said whatever she wants to do, they'll support her. She decided to keep the kid, and they said that's fine, and they'll help her through it. So I'm assuming they're still in the same boat where if she wants to go to work or she needs to go to work, they'll probably take care of the kid. But I do agree that, you know, bonding with a child is very important. But, you know, she wants to come back to work and she feels like she's ready and she has everything figured out. You know, who am I to say any different? But yeah, so then we're at dinner. And then, like I say, everybody kind of looks at me. Right, not everybody, like, you know, people who know, right? So they look, and then they're like, "Hey, don't rush back to work. Take time with the bond with the child is important, especially in those early development stages." Yeah, that's kind of what the talk was like. Everybody looks kind of like it's too early, like, you know. Yeah, a lot of the women there, were like, it's kind of too early. Some of them were, it's because, you know, she needs the money, but it's still too early. The kid, you gotta think of the kid. And I was like, I don't have kids. I know obviously I have siblings. That's the closest thing I have. So I'm gonna take your word for it. And I know like kids usually like get attached to whoever, you know. It's just, you know, how nature works, right? You get attached to the person who takes care of you. So if you drop them off to your grandparents, or you drop off your parents, but their grandparents, they get attached more to them than they do to you. He says, yeah, unless she's gonna be one of those parents that the grandparents raised the kid, then that annoys me. I wouldn't want to. Okay. So, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe she's coming back just like on maybe just the weekends or like 2 days just to get some type of money in. I don't know. I get needing money, but if she lives at home, mom and dad are supporting her, then she doesn't need to return straight away as her families are supporting her. Yeah, like, I completely agree with you. Like I said, I don't know the situation now. It might be completely different. I don't know, but all I know is that she wants to come back. Like I said, I think it's a little bit too soon. whether it be for recovery reasons, child bonding, or whatever. I think it's too soon, but no, I'm not gonna tell her anything or tell anybody anything. A lot of people were saying, plus the government is America gives single parent payments. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think so, but that's just based off my situation with my parents. We didn't get anything. Like, we didn't get any like payments or anything. And I know I have some friends who have single parents, and I don't remember if them ever saying stuff about that. I know, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna try to act like, you know, I know what's what here about that. But I don't. There might be. I think if you apply for it, but I think because she lives with her parents. So I'm not like sure the government in America, but I know in Australia the government, if you are low income and a single parent, will give you some assistance with things. I do believe. I don't think it has to be single parents in the United States, but if you do make a low enough income, which if she's independent, like if her parents don't declare on her taxes, obviously she makes no income, so she would qualify for it. I don't know if they have over there in Australia like food stamps. Here we have food stamps. Basically, you get $100 and something worth of food stamps where you can just spend on pure food, so you can buy like groceries, all that stuff. And sometimes they boost it up a little bit if you have a kid, but I don't think it's like they don't give you anything specific to like parents. It's just low income families. So it's always a fight with, you know, politicians. They're like, oh, we should cut food stamps because if we keep food stamps all the time, no one's gonna work. Okay, they don't do it by parent; they just do it by income. So someone who has like a kid, right, by themselves, no family support, is lumped up with people who have family support but just don't want to work. So whenever, you know, they talk about food stamps, they're always like, oh, we should just cut out food stamps. Because a lot of people just take it for granted and they sell the. There's people who are like barely underneath the qualified range, or they have income some other place and they don't declare it, so they get food stamps and they just sell them all because they don't need the money. They rather have money than the food stamps. So I kind of get it. At the same time, they don't separate them by person. They don't ask you like, oh, why do you have such a low income? Is it because you just have a bad job, or they're just like, oh, anybody in this group is lumped together, and they lump the people who are single and have kids with people who just don't want to work and get food stamps. And they also group them with people who are like barely starting off and they have a low job. So it's kind of like it's not the best system in the world because they lump everybody up together. So like single parents here is affected by the living situation. So if you live with family, parents, but you are low income, you get, depending on the income of the family you live with. Yeah, over here, it's kind of the same thing. Like if they declare you on the taxes, it changes. Like you fall in a different bracket. I don't know exactly how it works, but you know, I know that she doesn't have to pay taxes, and it also comes off. I don't know how you say it, but it kind of comes off as an expense for the parents. They're like, okay, you make this much money. How much taxes do you owe us? Oh, but you actually have a daughter who has a kid. We'll lower your taxes. That's kind of how it works. Like you don't pay as much taxes, from my limited knowledge. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know her situation. Maybe it's changed. Maybe her parents are actually, you know what, never mind. Or maybe her parents, or maybe it could just be that she wants some extra money. Maybe she's like, you know what, my parents helped me with my kid, helped me financially, but like, she wants to buy extra stuff, or she wants to buy. I don't know how it works. I don't know her situation. But yeah. So that's the joke. But yeah, that's the joke of the team. Like, oh, you're gonna have trouble, you know, because you're talking to this girl now, talking to Nala now, but you used to talk to her. Like they're gonna get in fights, and I was just like, I don't know. So it could be honest. I think now Russian. It takes a month or two. Then think about it. And that's what I would say. Like that's just based on, like I said, my mom and what other women there who have kids said. But like when I had my first kid or whatever, they're saying that it took a couple months off afterwards, and some of them had, you know, just regular I don't want regular births, but they didn't have a C-section. They just had a regular. Okay, I don't want to say regular, but I don't know what it's called. They gave birth without a C-section. People who gave birth with C-sections, and I think you already said it, but people who had the C-section said it took a little bit longer to recover. So they took I think someone said they took a half a year off. So people were saying like 2 weeks is too soon. Whether she natural birth, there you go. So people who had natural birth, they're like, well, I took a month to 2 months off depending on the body. And the people who had a C-section were like, well, I took 3 to 4. Someone took 6 at one time. It just depends on your body recovers. But a lot of them did say that regardless of whether she could be fully healthy, but like in 2 weeks, right? Like you said, the child still needs a mom, right? Mom, and then even if the dad's not even in the picture anymore, now he has neither parent. So I was like, I don't know, it's her decision, but I think it's too soon. But I'm not trying to say anything. So naturally, even if there's cesarean, it's quicker recovery than a C-section, as they're cutting you open. So it usually takes 6 months sometimes to get back to normal. Yeah, but I don't know. That's her situation. Like I said, hopefully everything's for the best for her. Maybe maybe she wants to get back into things, but maybe she'll work a couple days or something, kind of see how it is. She might be like, you know what, I shouldn't be working right now. I should be, with my kid, or she might realize that she's not ready yet. I don't know, but hopefully that whole situation gets fixed out for her. But yeah, so we're at the dinner. And they're making that joke, and I was like, hey man, I don't know. Like I said, same thing as before. Like these jokes, like. Neither of these persons are here to defend themselves, and you might be like, it's a joke, relax, but these are serious topics, right? Like it's someone's kid, and then this other person, Nala, I don't know how she would take to these type of jokes. Some people are fine with it, some people don't like those type of jokes. So I was like, I don't want to joke about anything, but I guess we'll figure out when that gets there. But I was just like, nah, I can't. Don't make those jokes. If she comes back, we'll be fine. I'm gonna be chill about it. I'm not gonna be stupid about it. He said, obviously, all depends on natural birth and recovery. On the natural birth and recovery time, but I hope the mom bring kids in, and she thinks from the kid's perspective, doing what is best for the child. Yeah, hopefully she does. Cause I feel like you don't want someone else who isn't the parent of the kid telling you what to do, because obviously it is your kid, but sometimes you might not fully think it through or something. I'm not gonna. Maybe if she comes back and she's more, and she's kind of like, we're still chill, I might bring it up to her like, hey, might be too soon, but if we're like normal, just regular coworkers again, I'm not gonna bring it up because I feel like that's a pretty bad thing to do to someone. Just be like, hey, this is how you raise your kid, or this is how I feel. So I don't want to be that guy. But yeah, so that was a joke for a bit at the table at the food. That little worker, I don't know, worker gather the work. I can't even speak right now. And she had me all not flustered, but all thinking about everything that happened before. It's just all very weird. But yeah, so they were just joking about that, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think we should make those jokes, because some way or another, someone's gonna get hurt, whether it be, Nala where she gets hurt off those jokes, or whether, honestly, you come back to a workplace and another joke is this one guy you used to talk to. You talked to this one guy for a bit a couple months ago before you had a kid, and now it's still the joke. Like, it's gonna hurt someone. So I was like, nah, don't make those jokes. It's not a good thing to do. Someone's gonna end up hurt, or someone's gonna end up in the wrong. That's not something you want to do. But other than that, the rest of the food was perfect. So I think she needs to decide for herself and actually be away from the kid for a period of time to see if she misses them enough to realize it's too soon. Plus 2 weeks after birth, she's ill with hormones. It can be bad, especially if she's emotional at work. Yeah, that is true. That's all stuff that she has to think about. But I guess like you said, maybe her coming to work would could make her realize, you know what, I actually want to be with my kids, or I'm not ready to come back. So she could snap out of someone or cry her emotions. Her emotions can be whacked due to overload of hormones. I completely agree with you. Like, you know, like even before she gave birth, when she was pregnant, you know, hormones start kicking in. She didn't really snap anybody, but her temper and like she would like get mad at people, and she would just like, and she would like snap out like, oh my bad, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. So I'm assuming hormones get worse after birth, because you kind of have like, I don't know how it works, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how this shit works, but I don't know, hopefully, you know, whether she figures out before she comes to work or she figures out during work, and hopefully she makes the right decisions to where she chooses something that works for her and her kid and whatever situation she's in. Yeah, and customers don't know she just had a baby, so if she gets overly emotional, angry, upset, and it's complaining as they wouldn't care about her personal. Yeah, that's also true. And then so you can have some awful customers too, and you know, like I said, they say something mean to her, she gets emotional, or not even just emotional, just like people can be assholes sometimes. So, you know, if she has all the stress of, you know, dealing with a baby and trying to, you know, keep another thing alive, like another being alive, the last thing you want is some fucking asshat at work calling you names because you messed something up or something, you know, something like that. So even if not even like being emotional about it, just like it's just more added stress to your life, which is on top of whatever stress you already have, which is not gonna be a good thing. But like I said, hopefully she comes to a conclusion that it's the best situation, or the best outcome for her and her kid and her family. She might say something she doesn't mean. I say she's stressed, I don't hormonal, and say something to someone who's working with in a write-up. That is true. But we don't have an HR department, so I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Plus, if she is breastfeeding, then she needs to express while she's at work and can accommodate that. And I feel like they wouldn't be too bad about that, because for at least even like before all this, like they're pretty like lax with the schedule. Like if you need a day off or you make last minute, hey, I need to do this. They're pretty like, okay, we can figure something way around it. It's very rare for someone to be like, oh no, we can't do anything for the situation, we need you to come in. Most of the time, if it's something like serious, I'm pretty sure this falls under like being a more serious type of topic. They wouldn't be like mean about it. They would probably be like, all right, if you know the situation you're in, we'll try to accommodate you, but like I said, it might be different, who knows. So that's someone who plus if there's some people who breastfeed need to pump every 3 or 4 hours depending on the milk supply, but this is having a room or somewhere she can go pump also. Where we have obviously we have the break room, but we also have like other rooms that we have another room that no one really uses, and it's locked by key, and it has it has like, you know, the little like bar, so even if someone has a key, they can't open the door. So there is that room, but like I'm assuming they kind of knew, because like, people who work there have had kids and stayed working there. So I'm assuming I'm pretty sure they have like accommodations for all that. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming like they've gone through this before with 3 of the workers there. So I'm assuming, hopefully they've gone through all that. Hopefully it's not a situation where they just kind of like push it to the side. But I don't know much about all that. I haven't been in a situation where I need to know about that, but hopefully everything's okay with that. But like I say, this is barely announced today that she wants to return, so hopefully, you know, maybe she has more time to think, or our boss is like, hey, I don't think it's time. Because he didn't really say anything. He didn't say like, oh, I don't think. He didn't say he thought it was too early or anything. He kind of just like, oh, okay, she wants to come back, okay. And he acknowledged it, and then he kind of moved on. He said, sorry, HR work I deal with the maternity leave and law and the return to work side of stuff. Yeah, it's fine, you know. Like I said, I have no have not a single inkling of how this works. So whatever you say, I'm just gonna be completely like, all right, that's what works. That's how it goes. I don't know how it works, but I'm saying, I'm assuming that they've gone through this before. So I'm assuming they've made accommodations and all that stuff. Because I said 3 of the workers that were there had kids and came back. And I'm assuming one of them had asked, hey, can I get a room for this, or hey, I need to change my schedule this next week because my kid is crying because I'm not there, so I have to take this week off. I'm assuming they went through all that, so hopefully they have that all situated. But like I said, she asked. I think if I remember correctly, the manager said she asked her yesterday or 2 days ago, so it's still like she technically isn't back yet. She just asked us if she could be back, and that was kind of her like announcing to the boss as well, like at time the boss like, hey, she wants to come back, and he didn't really say anything. So maybe he might not even want her back. I don't know. She was a good worker. He might tell her. I don't know, but it's all up there. But that's up to them. He said, obviously most works have been through it before, but she isn't the first pregnant employee. But yeah, it's something she needs to talk to the management about before she returns. That is true. I don't know. Like I said, maybe she's gonna start talking about it because she barely asked a couple days ago. But I haven't talked to her in a bit. I'm not gonna tell you some false information. I don't know what's going on either. Today was the first day I heard about it. So, yeah, but like I said, the rest of the meal was perfectly fine. Nothing else happened. We enjoyed our food. We had our business talks. Thank you for helping. Whatever. We're a family. The basic business stuff. We gotta do better next. This, whatever. We go. We leave. I peace out to my friend, my other coworkers I talked to. I say hi to them, and then that's that. And then we move on, and I'm just like, damn. Well, now she's coming back, and then so like I have an actual sit down discussion, not just hey, I want to come back, haha. As that doesn't do anything, and then it all depends if there's room for her on the books. Yeah, I feel like the manager should have told our boss like in. She didn't. She should have told him like in private. I don't feel like she should have brought it up in the dinner way. He said she didn't leave the job on mandatory leave. She just left, so she doesn't leave on mandatory leave. They don't have to hold this spot for her. That is true. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna mind. It can be nice, but no. Oh shit! It can be nice, but not obligated to do so. That is true. I feel like since she left, we've hired 3 other people left, and we hired 2 other people. So technically, like logically speaking, we have like space for it. But I don't know the whole financials of the place. I have no clue about any of that. So it might not have her space for her, like financially and all that stuff. But yeah, I feel like that should have been something more discussed more privately. Like, hey, so and so wants to come back. Like, what are we gonna do? Because say like, now everybody who works there knows that she comes back, right? I don't know what their relationship is, right? But now they'll talk to her. Oh, like everybody was talking about it, whatever. And she doesn't get the job, and then everybody's like, oh shit, like. If someone knows her, right, and talk about, oh, when are you coming back, and like not talking to her like if she already has a job, then she doesn't get it, then it's kind of like it's gonna give her I guess false hope that she has a job like automatically, even though technically she doesn't, because like you said, she didn't leave on maternity leave, she just left. Like she told like, oh, I'm leaving because I'm having a kid, but she never said, oh, save a spot for me. She just left. But hopefully, everything, like I said multiple times already, hopefully everything was good for her. I have no ill will to her kid, or her boyfriend. I'm assuming they're dating. I'm assuming, because they got back together whenever they did that. Hopefully, everything works out for them. I have no ill will towards them. So yeah, I think your boss and manager share too much. A lot of stuff should be private and down low until something is set in stone. Yeah. It's kind of caught me off guard, because the reason why it came up was because like that our boss likes to have like a, because there's not a lot of workers that we work with. I'd say at the most there's like 15 people. It's like a very small company, right? It's a very small organization. 15 people, and not everybody sees each other. So then he likes to have like, not like, I wouldn't say personal, but he just wants to see like know that we're okay and stuff. You know, because I'm going to school, my other friends going to school. Some people have kids. Other people are looking for their jobs, so he likes to be like, very personal with people at times. So the reason why it came up is because he was asking, you know, he gave us a little speech, whatever, and then he was like, "All right, so hey, so and so, do you have anything new in your life you don't mind sharing with everybody?" And someone like, "Oh yeah, you know, I got a new dog," or "Hey, I moved houses, I bought a new cat," stuff like that. And then it came up to me, and I was like, "Oh, not really. Still doing the same thing. I'm to be personal, but at the same time, he has to know boundaries." Yeah, that's what. But it wasn't even him. It was the manager. She brought it up, so that's why I was like, I don't think he was expecting it, because he didn't say anything. He didn't say like, "Oh yeah, like, well, we'll hire her for sure," or actually we can. He kind of just said, he kind of like acknowledged like, "Oh okay, she wants to come back," and then just stayed quiet, which I think was the best play out of all he could have done. Because if he like acknowledges like in a positive way, like, "Oh, he's coming back, that's great," or she's like, "Oh really, she wants to come back," like depending on how he reacted, people can be like, "Oh, he doesn't want her back," or he does, and then they tell her whatever. But he was more of like, what he did was he just acknowledged it. He goes, "Oh, she wants to come back, okay," and then that was it. Then he was saying it monotone, and he didn't bring it up again. He said, "It's okay to be personal, at the same time you need to know boundaries. Like certain things should be kept in private, like the person returning from maternity leave." Exactly. So right, so then they come to me and they're like, "Oh, what? Anything?" I was like, "Oh no, I'm still going. You know, I'm still coding." They don't know I stream. I haven't told them that I stream. So I was like, "Oh, you know, they don't know I do YouTube and all that stuff." So I was like, "Oh, I mean, I'm still working. I just work, go to school, and then work on side projects. This is side projects, right?" So that I was just like, "Yeah, same old, same old," and so on. So that's when the manager came up. He goes, "Oh," she was like, "Oh, nothing much. You know, just doing stuff with my kids, whatever." And she goes, "Oh yeah, and then so and so has to cheat and come back. Well, so and so says she wants to come back." And I was just like, "Whoa!" She came out of nowhere. So I was like, "Okay, he did the right thing, but the managers need to bite their tongue and grow up." Yeah, like, I get like, you know, you want to be like, maybe they regret it. You know, I don't know their perspective on things. Maybe they're like, "Oh shit, I kind of fucked up on that," but like maybe they just want to be like, I don't understand. I can't express it properly. Like, maybe they just want to say something interesting, like, "Hey, this happened," you know, and because they didn't. Besides that, all they said was, you know, nothing much. I'm still going. I just go to work and take care of my kids. That's all they said. And then she goes, "Oh yeah, but," and so I'm assuming it was just like, it might have been like a knee-jerk reaction to say something interesting, like, "Oh, and this." So, you know, maybe they fucking regret it too. But maybe they got like, hopefully they got like told like, "Hey, you can't be doing that." But you know, I don't know what happened after that. I left before everybody else. The main people who aren't managers and stuff left, and then managers and other people stayed behind for a bit. So maybe they talked about it. Who knows? But yeah, I think that should have been something talked about in private before anything. Because, you know, like I said, I don't have a relationship with her, but maybe someone else like knows her, still talks to her, and then let her know like, "Oh, so and so brought it up," and now they think they're gonna get the job, but they don't. But I don't know, I'm probably telling you all this. You're probably like thinking like, because you have the whole HR department, so you kind of have like experience working with this. You're probably just like, "What the fuck? What kind of show you running here, man?" It's all fucked up everywhere, huh? So all types of messed up. But you know, they pay the bills, so as long as they don't do anything like really bad to me, like, you know, they start cutting my lunches or not paying me, for me personally, they don't have done anything bad where I feel like I've been screwed over or anything, so I can't really say much. But I feel like we do need an HR department, something like or something similar, something that to keep everybody in check, because something gets wild. Saying your work is a red flag to HR. Yeah, I wouldn't think it was it would be a green flag, but yeah, it's definitely something that we need to fix. But I can tell you it has gotten better. So if you think this is bad, it was worse before, and this is at this when it was worse, I wasn't working here. I wasn't working, but I've heard stories, and it's kind of just like, yeah, this used to happen, this used to happen. But this was with a different. Well, the boss is is the owner. Then it exchanged owners and it got better. So I was like, this is better. What the fuck? Okay, I guess. But yeah, he said like boss not so much expected for. Like the boss, not so much expected for no raise for the work you do, but the managers and their training skills and their gossiping are a dread for HR. Yeah, I would assume so. Like I said, my sister deals with actually has HR and all that stuff. When I talked to her about that, I'm like, she's like, at first she was like, you don't have an HR department? I was like, nope. She was like, well, like this is probably stuff that you should talk to them about. And I'm just like, well, we don't really have anybody. He said, if this is better, I'm concerned. How bad was it prior? Like I said, this is a different owner, and only two of the workers worked with the previous owner. But from I don't know, like, it's all word of mouth from workers, so I don't know how. It wasn't anything bad like sexual or anything like that. It wasn't that bad. It was just like, nothing was really private. Like if they had problems, they were like talk like in the work area about it. So let's say like you and me had a problem, right? And instead of going like, hey, we need to talk to the boss. Hey, me and Kay can't get along because she hit me one day, so now I broke her window. It was obviously fake stuff like that. But instead of like the boss coming in the back being like, hey. Yeah, the previous ones were the managers. They're the work managers. So it does show like that like they're trying to get better at it. They're trying to be more professional about stuff. But every once in a while they slip back to their habits. I'm pretty sure this is like I feel like what happened today with the whole letting everybody know that they want to come back. Probably like a little slip up of how it used to work. You kind of just say whatever you had to say. But they have gotten better. At stuff, like keeping stuff more private. If you ask them something in private, they don't bring it up. But before they said like nothing was really private. Like if you brought up something like, hey, I have to leave for this. Whatever. Said, God knows if I have issues with my limbs, so I call them my work children. I take them aside to a private area, discuss it. Like adults, I never do anything in front of anyone else. Yeah, that was like that. I think that's the biggest thing they said was the difference. Like the boss would like discuss it right there, and we don't always work together with other people, so sometimes it was private, but then like someone could be walking around and hear like a little tidbit of it, and then, hey, did you hear so and so did this? And then like it spreads, whatever. But yeah, now like I said, we have private rooms. We have the break room, and then we have like that one room that locks with the key and the chain stuff. So now with the new owner, he's kind of like, well, I don't see why he would do that. So he's more like, hey, if you have a problem, you can text me, call me. If it's like a really big issue, I'll come down right away. We'll figure it out, pull you guys aside, find someone to cover your work. But like, if it's something like a little more laid back, that we can talk to like when the work's over or after you guys get off. It's like, it was very, it's a lot better now. But yeah, the two people who have the most outbursts and stuff are the ones that dealt with the other owner. Like I said, they're getting better. So hopefully they get better or they get some better training at it. And unless it's a group thing, I discuss it in front of everyone. It's something that affects the group. It's changing the plots or something serious. Gossip changes each time it's discussed. Yeah. Yeah, but back then, I say that's what they told me. They said it was more discussed openly. A lot of stuff was not swept under the rug, but I wouldn't say it was ignored, but it wasn't taken as serious. Like, so like if you had a problem with someone, hey, so and so, is being not I don't know how to say, being not mean to you, but like so and so is being rude to me. I'm just trying to do my work. I don't appreciate them like mad dogging me from across the whatever. And then instead of being like, oh, okay, let's talk to so and so and figure out like what's wrong. They're like, come on, bro. Are they hitting you? Are they breaking your stuff? Are they ruining your work? And they're like, no, well, come on, just ignore it then. It's kind of that type of thing. Like hey, brush it off, man up, and get, move on. It's kind of how it was back with the other owner. And then eventually it started changing, like for the better. Thank God. But eventually he ended up selling it. And the new boss, our new current boss, he's a lot better at being like, no, we have to, all the stuff that any problems you have with anybody is dealt privately. But like I said, I think the biggest problem right now is the gossip. Like something comes up, but again, it's not that big of a problem. Like I feel like right now when I'm telling you all this, it's like the worst it's been. Like with the whole training, the whole managers, like all this is pretty bad. But before these 2 events I told you about, like nothing really happened. Like there was no gossip. I think I just told you about my job at the worst time. Like this, everything's happening right now. This past month and a half or so, everything's been happening. But before this, like I said, there wasn't really anything big. I think the only big thing was someone was quitting, but they weren't putting their 2 weeks, right? And then they told him, hey, I'm gonna quit next week. He didn't want to the person didn't want to put in his 2 weeks, so he kind of wanted to keep it a secret. So then eventually he told us like, hey, I'm leaving 2 weeks, so if or a week, so if you guys get more work, then I'm sorry, but I just have to leave. And then eventually it went like, oh my god, he's leaving like right now, today's his last day. And like, how did it, I heard the top of the gossip, and then I heard the bottom where it got to. Like, how did this happen? How did this transpire from, hey, I'm leaving in a week, to he's leaving like right now, or who knows when he's leaving? He's just gonna leave, he said. But like, gossip, obviously every time it's said, it's taken the wrong way, or it's said differently. But that was like 4 months ago. Before that, since I worked, we've only had that incident with the not putting the 2 weeks, and then the training incident and this incident. That's it. 3 incidents in a year and a half, almost 2 years. Which I think is pretty good. Like I said, it's a lot better now. I can say Word X is amazing. Work S is amazing worker, but they need to work on time management as it's shit. And if someone overhears that time it gets to worker X, it's something like the longest. Worker X is shit. Yes, it's very, very bad. But yeah, right now it's better. Like, right now, obviously, I'm telling you, these incidents all kind of are like compressed together. I don't know whether it's just, I don't know, maybe management is going through something. I don't know what's going on, but like this past 2 months or so, they've been kind of slipping up. I don't know. I don't know the situation, but yeah, that's it's not that bad, but it could be better. We still have a lot of things to fix, and I don't know about other workers, but me personally, I tell them like, hey, we should. I've asked them like, how come we don't have an HR person? And he goes, because we're not that big of a company, and it's kind of expensive. And I don't know if it's like, if a bigger company gets to like write off an HR person. I don't know how that works, but apparently he said that it's only 15. It's like 15 to 20 people at a time, at the most. I don't think I've ever seen it at 20. I think right now we're at 12, so it's very rarely at full capacity of 20. But that's where it is right now. And I told him like, hey, we need someone to deal with these problems, and that's what he's been taking it more seriously. Like, I was like, as of right now, no serious problems actually happened. But I was like, eventually something serious is gonna happen where we don't, like, we need like someone else out of the company to intervene. So you should prepare for that. So he's been kind of like looking into it and stuff like that. So hopefully we get something figured out pretty soon. I think it could be the time of year. It's still bit busy as Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people get stressed, screwed up. The management are like, we have been here for so long now, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, from like I said, from what I've seen, I don't think it's the latter where they're like, fuck, it doesn't matter. I feel like it might be stress, so they're kind of messing up a little bit. But I don't know. That's something they have to figure out, I guess. But as long as it's nothing too bad, and it's just stuff like this. Obviously, this isn't good or anything. If he hires an external agency to prove HR advice, it might be better. Yeah, that probably could be better. I think it's just also where we live. Like I said, I live in a small town, and around us are just smaller towns, so it might be even more expensive because they would have to come out from even further out and be like, okay, now we're coming all the way down here and they charge you for. I don't know how that works, but and then waiting for something to happen and not having anything in place for it. Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, you know, because we've had people come in and out, right? Other employees, and I was like, you know, hopefully it never happens, but you know, so far all the serious stuff that's happened is like gossip or two people that get along. Like hopefully, you know, like I said, it never happens. But let's say someone like attacks someone or someone like makes sexual advances towards someone else doesn't appreciate it, they don't stop. That's like those are really big things, right? He has nothing in place for it at the moment. So I told him, like, hey, you know, rather have something like have like some sort of plan. Maybe like don't always have an HR person available, but like have like, hey, you know, like, I think that's what you're kind of saying about the HR like company agency. Be like they're not always at the place, but like if you need a situation handled, you can like contact them and they're like, okay, well, fix it out. It just takes one person to say something because they have a bad day or trigger someone or pushing someone the wrong way and it's a lawsuit or HR nightmare. Yeah. I say, you know, luckily nothing's happened, but like it's a ticking time bomb. Eventually something will happen and hopefully nothing too bad, but you know, I don't know. I've told him that he should look into it, and he said he is, and maybe something happens. Like I told him like a bit ago, like maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. So maybe he'll look into it, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I can only do so much, you know. I'm not here as someone trying to fix the company. I'm just trying to make my workplace a little bit better. But yeah, like an HR agency who's external, so if someone needs HR advice, they can call a number and get it, or if something happens, they can call HR and the HR can come out. Yeah, I think that's probably the best option because I don't even think. I'm trying to think about like companies from the next towns over. I know in my town they don't have anything like that, for sure. My town's hella small, but maybe the next town over, so they might have something like that. But yeah, I'll let him know. I'll be like, I have a professional in HR department, and they believe this is the best option for us to moving forward. And I'll cite you as my reference. But this is my reference. Trust me. Because again, it just takes someone to say something and take it the wrong way, and then someone reacts badly, and the whole issue is bigger than it should be. Yeah. And right now we have all the workers we have are pretty chill, laid back, but like we are getting new employees. And like for example, the whole training situation could have gone a lot worse. Like what if she's like, oh, because you know, I don't want to make it anything, you know, racial or anything, right? But the 2 people who trained her aren't the same race as the person who was being trained, right? What if they're like, oh, you don't want to train me because I'm this, you know? Like, it could have been a lot worse. Like, luckily nothing like that happened, but like things can be taken out of the wrong way or taken extremely out of context. So it's like, yeah. So luckily nothing's like that ever happened thus far, but it's just a ticking time bomb. But I'll let him know about that, the agency thing. Like, hey, you know, you don't always have to have someone here to be out here on payroll, but we can just hire a company to have someone available at certain times for us to talk to if we need to. Yeah, the training thing could have been a issue. Luckily, she took it as it was. Just the managers who didn't want to do their job, but it could have gone pear-shaped quickly. Yeah, came out real bad real quick. All right, quick question. I know this is like serious talk. Have you ever played Paper Mario before? Have you ever played this game before? If not, I'm gonna show you something. that I used to spend all my money on as a kid in this game. I know this is like a more serious topic discussion, but like this is important. It can be a remote worker. They don't have to be physically in location. They can just come out once a month or have a number of people can ring for guidance and advice on things. Yeah, so that's probably the best situation for us right now. See, I have not played Pokemon, but I have seen it a few times, but never played it. Have you seen the pigs? The pigs are like the best part of this game. These pigs right here. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but these little pigs. I think it's like 10 coins, right? The little pigs. If you haven't seen them, it's the machine. You give them 10 coins. Pops out a little egg. You come up here. And you smash it and you get a little pig. Yeah, but here, like, you can just fill this pen up with little pigs. Just 10 coins at a time. And they're all different colors. The eggs all look the same. But you have a little black with gray spots. Here we have a little tiger looking pig. And there's as much as a pig as you can get with these these polygons. What do they do? Absolutely nothing. You just waste money on them. You can get all the... And if you open this door, they'll run away. If I remember correctly, if you do 10 of them, you get an item. Like a badge, but you don't really need it. Like I said, once you open the gate, they all run away. But yeah, this is what when I was a little kid, this is what I spent money on. I would go out, get like maybe 200 coins, come back and then fill it up with pigs. But yeah, I said I know. This is very like, not serious, but it's like I guess serious topic and discussion, but pigs. I just wanted to show you these little pigs, just in case you haven't seen them yet. But yeah, hopefully the whole HR thing gets figured out. I'll let him know about cause when I told him about the HR thing, I just told him we should have someone we can talk to that's not part of the company, but whenever we have another meeting or next time he's there, I'll let him know about the whole what was the Daisy one? Yeah, so they do nothing. They're just here for decorations. You can leave and come back and they'll stay here. But yeah, that's they're ugly looking piggies. What do you expect when it's based on old school graphics? Yeah, they're not the best, but they get the point across. They're like 2 polygons, but they're there. There's a blue one. There's some blue ones, by the way. I got kind of unlucky with getting the same 2 designed for it, twice each. But yeah, you can just fill this up with pigs. I think this is 100. This is 10, right? So I had 120. I have 119. So this one should be 10. Yeah, but one of these gives you an item. I think it might be this one. Yeah, but they're not the best looking pigs, but they're here. There you go. So yeah, but if you open this, this is 9. Yeah, so if you open it, you get an item. But if you open the gate to get the item, all of them run away. So I believe, if I remember correctly, certain pigs, it's like a pool of items. So every time you release, so there's what, 2, 4, oh shit, stop moving, 2, 4, 6, okay, okay, I can't play, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, there's 10 of them in there, so I'm assuming once you get more than 10, the latest one gets removed. So this one should be a zebra one, right? The zebra one should be next. Oh shit, bomb. The zebra should leave next. So if you come up here, Yeah. Yeah, so if you get a good item that you want, you can go in there and get it. But like I said, all the pigs leave. But yeah, that's. I think I'm gonna end it off here. I've been going on for almost 2 hours. Yeah, I need to wake up early tomorrow again. But yeah. Thanks Kay for stopping by. Something I'm gonna work on is my outros because I've every time I do an outro, I always feel like I'm doing it too short. I feel like I should have let it wind down a little bit more. But yeah, there's gonna be no more Peanut Mario for today. I'll probably stream tomorrow. I have tomorrow and Thursday off. Or yeah, wait. I have Wednesday and Thursday off. So I was like, right now you said it's 9. Right now it's like roughly right now you said it's PM, right? Is today PM for Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday, right? It's like Wednesday PM. I don't know how your time zone works. With Lansing support. My outro is late. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I shall see you next stream. Now, I feel like it's like I say bye. Right now it's like very personal to you because you're the one that's in here. But I feel like me just going, oh, thank you for watching. Bye. It's like kind of short. But I want to work on. Depending on work, I may do an after work stream. Just depends. When I get off work, it's been hectic for me. I can only imagine, dealing with all those problems. Especially I feel like around holidays, it's a lot more stressful. So people can do things they regret later on. But thank you for stopping by again, Kay. Thank you. I know you usually I stream after you work, so I know you're tired. Maybe you want to rest. Maybe you don't want to type away. I appreciate you coming by, supporting me on basically almost every stream. I appreciate it a lot. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night, your day, your week. HR holidays are the devil. I can only imagine. If I'm having problems with just 12 people, I can imagine dealing with freaking a whole business, a whole company worth of problems. I can only imagine. But yeah, hopefully you have a good rest of your night, good rest of the week. Happy Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm gonna stream. I have to start setting anything up for Thanksgiving. So I might not. I'm not gonna stream on Thanksgiving. I know that for sure. I might not stream 3,000. That's how many people you deal with. It's 3,000 people. God, that's what 200 more than 200 times what I dealt with. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I might stream tomorrow if I do. If you're able to join, if you're able to catch it, I'll say happy Thanksgiving or happy Thursday, whatever it may be for you. But Jesus Christ, that's a lot of people. Each person can have multiple problems, so that's a number can easily double or triple if each person has 1 or 2 problems. Jesus Christ, that can be it's a very stressful job. It makes my job look hella easy. How to do it 300 people. But yeah, so hopefully, like I said, have a good night, good rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If not, just have a happy week. And hopefully you can catch my next stream. If not, I can catch your next one. I'm still going through your back catalog. I'm watching your back catalog with while I edit videos, or if I'm doing some coding. I still have your back catalog. I haven't reached the top yet. I'm still I'll say I'm more like a little bit less than halfway through. But yeah, I do have to say thank you for that, for keeping me entertained while I stare at a black screen while I code. Alright, so once again, goodbye. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next stream if you're able to make it.